This channel is dedicated to teaching young programmers how to program from scratch, step by step. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use spreadsheet to do basic data analysis. So this is a beginner course. I'm going to teach you from scratch the interface of spreadsheet, that's Excel. So what is Excel? Excel is a spreadsheet program developed by Microsoft for organizing data. So we can easily organize data into columns and then rows. So without much ado, let's jump straight into action and look at the interface of Excel. There's different ways in which you can launch the Excel application on your Windows PC. So this is my desktop, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to search for Excel. So within my search button, I can just type Excel and Excel should pop up. If you are someone who uses Excel frequently, you can easily right click, go to pin to start or pin to taskbar, and then it will appear at your taskbar as you can see over here. I mostly don't use Excel that much, but I know more about Excel, so I'm going to unpin this so I can easily remove this. So if I go to my taskbar, I will just unpin it from there. By any time I have other useful programs that I've already pinned to my taskbar. In this case, I'm going back to launch my Excel. You just type Excel, and then I'll just double click to launch Excel. Okay, so I'm going to launch my Excel software. I'm using the Excel 2019 version. Yeah, you may be using 2016, 2013, but we can easily work together. Okay, so anytime you launch Excel, you should see some pre-designed template for you. So you can say welcome to Excel. It will give you a tour of the entire interface of Excel. You can see formula tutorial, pivotal tables, power query tutorials, and then we have a design for you that you can use. So if I want something on budget, I can go through and then look for, you could see monthly company budget. I can click on this and then work with this. I can also go online and search for a new template and work with. But for the purpose of this lesson, we are going to work with a blank workbook. Okay, we are going to work with a blank workbook in this lesson. We'll talk much about this in a bit. We need to know what a workbook is. We need to know what a worksheet is, in that order. So if I'm talking about workbook, what is a workbook? A workbook is a single file containing one or more worksheets. So what is a worksheet? If you come down here, you notice I have a sheet over it. So this could be a sheet or a worksheet. So a collection, we talk about worksheet. A worksheet is a single report or a tab in a workbook. So our entire document here is what we refer to a workbook. But the individual tab that I'm going to create over here is what we refer to as a worksheet. So I can easily click on this plus to add a new worksheet. We have some sliders over here where we can easily enlarge, and then we can see our interface. You can see what I'm doing. You can see my cell. So we have a cell. What do we mean by cell? A cell is basically the intersection of rows and then columns. And then once you click on any cell, that cell becomes active. It's basically the current cell that you've selected. So you see a tick line around that. So that's our active cell. Anywhere I click on becomes what my active cell. And then we also have what we call the cell address. So the cell address is the column by row intersection. So if I click over here, this is what column F, and then you could see the number over here is what 5. So the intersection of this is what we refer to what the cell address. You could see the label over here. We see F what 5. So that is what we refer to what a cell address. There are several other things we can talk about in this lesson, so we are going to take everything step by step. So we are first going to look at the interface of Microsoft Excel. The interface, if you see over here, we have tabs. This is what we refer to as tabs. If I click tab by tabs, and tabs are basically organized. The long bar over here is what we refer to as the ribbon. The ribbon is over here, and then we have tabs over here. So the tabs are organized into what ribbon. Every tab is having its own ribbon, and if you launch any ribbon or you click on any ribbon at all, you notice we have what we call groups. So we have the font groups, alignment group, number groups. So groups are just related commands that are combined. So we could see anything related to fonts is under font group. We also have what we call, I'll call this a launch button. So if I click on this, it's going to give me a dialog box. If I click on this, it's going to give me more option to format my font on my page. So you notice that over here it's giving more option where I can do some adjustment to anything I type on within my worksheet. You notice down here where I have my worksheet, I can easily rename them. Assuming I'm working on a document for a school and maybe I want to create a worksheet for various classes, I can easily go here and then maybe rename this to, maybe let's say this is JHS. Okay, so you notice I've easily renamed my worksheet. I can do that for the other one. So we now know what a workbook is, we now know what a worksheet is, worksheet as well. And then we have our source. How then do we work with source? There are several ways in which we can work with source within Microsoft spreadsheet. So what are source? We've talked about that, but let's talk about entering of data into our worksheet. So now that we know what a worksheet is, we should know how to enter data into it. Let me also talk about the quick access toolbar. The quick access toolbar is basically above your file tab. So this is the quick access toolbar. We can easily do adjustment to the quick access toolbar. If I click on this small arrow down here, I can do customization. If I want to add some spelling check, I can just right by the left, I can just check that and then I can add the spelling checker to my quick access toolbar. So it's an easy way or easy command in which you can access to format your page. Okay, we have the quick access toolbar, we also have the title bar. So basically the title bar is the name of your document or your worksheet. Whatever name I'm going to give to my document will basically appear over here. So my title will appear at the top of this document. So we're talking about organization of our document. We can easily refer to this. So if I go to file and I try to rename this, so let me just go and give it any name at all of my choice. Notice at file save as, we can easily browse to the location where we want to save that file. For the purpose of this lesson, let me just save it to my desktop. So I'm saving this to desktop by clicking on what desktop. Remember, you can also specify a location by clicking on browse, and then assuming you have a folder on desktop, you can easily do that. Okay, but like I said, let's just save direct to desktop. Okay, let me see my workbook. Okay, so if I'm saving this to desktop, notice the address bar here, I'm on my desktop now. So if I click on file, my title has already changed to my workbook. So this is basically the title over here. And then down here we also have what we call the status bar, the ready screen when I start typing something. So basically the status bar display across the bottom of my Windows application, my status bar. You can see my status bar over here. Let me try to do some introduction to word processing, and we also have PowerPoint that we also going to talk about on this channel. So we're going to do complete beginners lesson, in which if you're a complete beginner, you have no idea, you can easily benefit from. So remember, you need to subscribe to this channel in order to get, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell and get update anytime we upload a new video. We also have the view button. So if you come down here, if I try to zoom this, if I try to zoom in, you could see that I have some view button over here at the bottom right over here. So this is the view button. So you have the normal view in which I'm using now. We also have the page layout, and then we finally have what? We have this over here, and we also have what we call the zoom slider, in which I've been using. So I can easily use this slider to zoom out and then also what? Zoom in. So I can enlarge my cell over here, and you could see what is actually happening over here. So we can easily use that to also move across our screen. What again do we need to know? We now also know what a cell is, the cell address and the rest. The next thing you're going to look about is what we call columns. So cells are made up of what? Columns and then what we call rows. Even before that, there's something we call screen tips. Assuming I don't know what this button or command will do, if I point my cursor over, you notice that it's telling me what? Control plus B, make your text bold. So that's what we refer to as screen tips. So if you don't have any idea about what that command will do, just point your cursor to it and then leave it for some time, and then to tell you what exactly that command will do. So you notice I just point my cursor here and it says fill color, and I say color the background of your cell. So that's what we refer to as screen tips. Okay, so let's come back here. And over here you notice that we have, so this is a column are the vertical arrangement of our cells. So from the top you have what we call the columns are in letters. So you have A, and basically what happens is that we have A running from A to Z. So when you get to Z, you also be having AA up to ZZ. Then to move in that order, A to what? AZZ, and to do that up to what? XFD. And then we have these numbers also, which are the labels for runs from 1 to 1,488,576. That's so amazing. But I believe you just use something small of that. That's the rule. So this number you are seeing is very long, over 1 million plus. So you need to take note of that. So you can easily scroll that. That's why we have the scroll button. So I can easily scroll from top to bottom, and also have what? The vertical scroll. So this is my horizontal scroll bar, and this is my vertical scroll bar. So the horizontal will allow me to scroll from left to what? Right, and then from right to left in that order. And then the vertical scroll bar will allow me to move from top to the bottom. Okay, so for instance, I want to enter any data at all into my cell. So we have 3 types of data you can enter into your worksheet. By now I know you know what a worksheet is. So we have labels, we have values, and then we have formulas. So basically we are seeing labels. Labels are basically what we call text entries. So if I say name, for instance, okay, so this is a typical example of label, and the label, you notice it has been aligned to the left. Don't worry, we can easily format this particular input that we have within our cell. So label basically aligned to what? The left of your cell. And what about values? Values are basically numeric values. So if I type to enter 56, notice automatically it has been aligned to what? The right. We can also have formulas. So a formula could be maybe I want to find summation of something. So this is a formula. So I can easily use a formula also in my spreadsheet. Okay, so I'm sure by now you have some fair knowledge about how to use spreadsheet. We are going to do some few changes or some few formatting over here. So I'm going to add some few data, and then I'll try to do some adjustment to that. We can easily expand or enlarge our column. If I select my column and I bring my cursor to the right and it's changed to across this way, I can easily drag to the right to enlarge it, so you could see what is happening. I can also go back in that order. So let's say I want to enter some few data. Let's say hello, welcome to my, let's say welcome to my worksheet. So if I type welcome to my worksheet, you could see that this has expanded to a different cell. But if I want to just maybe confine this or wrap this text within this cell, I can easily select that text, and then within your home tab you could see within the alignment what group you could see wrap text. If I click on wrap text, notice that I'm able to wrap this text into one particular cell. The font size I'm using is 11, but remember I've already zoomed in on my worksheet, so you could see everything has been enlarged. So I've been able to wrap this text into one cell. Okay, I can, with my cell selected, I can just go back and then click on wrap to see if I've already unwrapped this. Okay, so let me just delete this, and then we can go ahead and do some few changes. Remember, Excel will allow us to do organization of data, and we can also perform some analysis on that data by generating graph. This video is becoming very long, but let me just do some few analysis. So I can easily go ahead and then enter some few data for you to see. We can easily move between cell by using the tab key. So if I'm pressing my tab key, I can even move from one cell to the other, to the right. What about if I want to move back to the previous cell? I can hold down shift and the tab and to move me to the opposite direction. I can also use the enter key or command on your Mac to move from the top to the bottom. If I want to move in the opposite direction, I can use the shift enter and then I'll move in that opposite direction. I can also use my arrow key on my keyboard to also move between cells. Okay, so I want to enter some few data, and then we'll look at how powerful Excel is. We can use to do those analysis. So let me see, I have number here. I want to get the number of students I have in my class. So let's say number, and also have what, name. Let's say we also have score, and let's say, okay, let's say we also have score, and then we also have something we call remarks. Okay, so these are some few information I want to get from my students. So maybe I want to have a number over here. So 1, 2. So in Excel, assuming I want to number my students, I can't. The next one is going to be 3. So I don't need to go ahead and start typing 3. With this, I've already created a pattern. So meaning 1, 2, the next one automatically is going to be 3. So I can select these 2, click on the small box here, drag it down, and automatically I can start getting the numbers in the order. Assuming I want to jump direct from, let's say, if I move from 2, okay, let's say I want to do in multiples of 2, then the next one will be 4. I can equally do in that same one. So if I select these 2 and I start dragging it down, notice that from 2, 4, 6, 8 in that order. So if I want to number, I can easily do that. So in this case, I want to go 1 to 3. So I want to drag it. I want to select the 2. And then I'll drag it downwards this way. Okay, so I'm able to generate my number. So I can go ahead and type the rest of the information I want. So I can type in maybe the names, Kofi. Like I said, if you want to go to the next cell below, you need to hit enter on your keyboard or the command on your Mac. So let's say John set, let's say Calvin Collins, let's say Do, and let's say Abner. Okay, so these are few information I've just entered into my spreadsheet. So I can go ahead and also get a score for them. So let's say 45, 56, 67, 78, 57, 56, also have 67, and maybe we have what, 59. So these are a few records we can easily get from Excel. Okay, we can also give remarks to these students. We can't, I'll leave the remarks column for now because this video is becoming long. We have time to do maybe more details about, go to more in-depth about spreadsheet. Okay, so we can easily do analysis based on this data. With spreadsheet, I can easily bolden the, so I can go over where we have the word border. I can click on the small square button and then go to all borders. So notice I've applied some border to what I've done so far. Okay, we can, with spreadsheet, we can easily get a total for our students. So notice if I select all, and we have what within a home tab, we have what we call auto sum. Under auto sum, we have what we call what, sum. If I click on sum, automatically I'm going to get a total for my students. So let's say, you notice this is the formula over here. This is what we call the formula bar. So once you click on any formula, the formula giving me this result is being displayed within my formula bar. Okay, so we've been able to do that. So let's say over here we can also merge cells. So I want to merge, this is cell 1, this is a cell, this is a column, another column. I can merge these two cells together by dragging across, and I'll go to what merge center. If I click over here, I've merged these two cells together. So basically that's how to add or merge a cell within the spreadsheet. So I'll say total. Okay, we can also get the average score within this list. So I can still merge this cell and then say, let's say this is average. So over here, I'm going to find the average between from Kofi to what Abena. If I come down here and I just type equal to, so basically I'm using a formula now. So if I say average, you notice that from my list I'll just select average, and I want the average from what Kofi to Abena. I can just select across like that, hit enter, and I'm getting the average. I can also get the maximum number from this list. So let me merge this and let's say I'll call this max, and then when I come here I can just say equal to max. So I'm finding the maximum, and then hit tab, select from the for where I want to get my maximum from Kofi to Abena, hit enter, and you notice what I'm getting, what my maximum within that. So if you go through this list, you can easily tell that 78 is the maximum. How then do we get a minimum among this? I can use the same procedure. Come down here, merge this cell, and let's say I'll call this what minimum. Also call it min, and then when I come down here, equal to min, and hit the tab, and from here from Kofi to Abena, hit enter. So I'm getting a minimum. If you go through this list, you can easily tell that 45 is the minimum. Basically, there are some of the techniques you can use to do some few data organization within spreadsheet. We can go ahead and say we want to generate a graph based on these few records. So I can want to select from number to score and get a graph based on this. So we'll go to the insert tabs. So it will depend on the type of graph I want to generate. It could be a pie chart. It can also be a column graph. So in the purpose of this list, I want to use a column. So column, we also have the 2D, we have the 3D, the 2 by, and the rest. So let me select one of the columns. So if I point my cursor here, this is how this is going to look. Let me just click on this, and I've already generated what a nice what column for this. So this is basically a graph based on the record I've added to what my worksheet. So you can just minimize this by dragging and then dragging inside. Notice anytime I add a chart, there are other chart styles over here. I can do some analysis, so I'll do some changes. So if I go with this, that's style 6, notice that it's giving me the figures, the scores have been displayed on every chart. So I can see Abena, which is 8, and it is what 59. We have Do, which is 56, display on it. We have other options that you can switch from, and then you could see how your chart will look like. I can easily do that. You notice that we have changed colors, so you can easily change the color of what you have if you want to do some changes to the colors. And also we have we have change type, so I can easily change from one chart to the other. When I click over here, I should be able to change to a pie chart. I can select a pie chart, and notice a pie chart, we have different ones. We have the 3D. I can go with the 3D, select this, and notice that I've changed everything now to what a pie chart. And notice that we also have different look of the chart as well. So you can easily use the color, which is the legend, to determine the different part of our pie chart. So I know where set belongs. Okay, we can do that better by even displaying the figures on our chart. So there are several things you can do with Excel, and I believe if you subscribe to this channel, you enjoy the benefit and the amazing things you can do with what Excel. This is just the beginner lesson to using spreadsheet, that's Excel. So we have the line also that you can easily use for your analysis. So you can easily generate record and use the line to do our analysis. Anytime you apply any of the charts available, you have option to change the style, the look of your entire chart. So you can use this for analysis anytime you want. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell and how to get update anytime we upload new video.